my microphone's on. Anybody in the room on the staff? Besides me? Hey, is Mark Washburn in your room?
He's in the back. He's right there.
Hey, Mark. Mark, he's got no sound. Turn it up. Okay, it's my volume, it's my voice. Well, thanks for coming. This is the second part of the two-part series on the annual parish meeting, which is Sunday, January 25th. That's a week from today. 2 o'clock in the nave. Registration begins at 1 o'clock, and there is something for kids to do. So, come one, come all. I want to review from last week. The purposes of the annual parish meeting are threefold, with one possible: it's coming up, and it's coming up, and it's coming up. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. That's it. That's as high as it gets. All right. Hot mic. To elect the vestry, to elect delegates and alternates to diocesan conventions, which there will be 2 of this year. The special convention in February and the required annual one in November, to hear and receive reports from various organizations in the parish, and then from time to time to amend or change the bylaws. Those are the 4 purposes of an annual parish meeting. We went over those last time. Now, since last Sunday, I believe I've got the chronology right, I think you all have received a letter from Bishop Eicher, the former bishop of Fort Worth, who's a bishop in the Southern Cone now. And so that's changed a bit my plan to present things today, and I want to address that topic. And I'm sad that we have to do this. I've been putting it off, but he's obviously written something that's confused and caused many of you, and caused a lot of anxiety in the parish, and we need to address that today. Now, most of these events that I'll be talking about happened prior to Advent. We didn't bring them up because I wanted to get through Advent and Christmas. I didn't want to spoil it for us. But they were events that happened starting November 15th, late November, and then throughout December. And then the latest one is the letter that you received, I think dated January 12th. I think that's right. So I want to talk about 2 things. What's going on with the former bishop of the diocese in this parish, and then what's our future as a diocese. Again, it pains me to have to say this. I don't relish it, but we've tried to kind of be peaceable people. But this letter has forced us to have to make clear some things about the former bishop. And that first one up there is that Jack Eicher has abandoned the Episcopal Church. That's a fact. I want to talk about that a bit. On November 24th, 2009, right after the diocesan convention, which was November 15th, 2008. Okay, good catch. You're awake. You are more alert than I am, I guarantee you. Last November, he wrote, "The bishop and diocese, meeting in annual convention," and that was the November 15th convention, "constitutionally realigned with another province of the Anglican Communion on Saturday, November 15th, and are now constituent members of the Anglican province of the Southern Cone." So he wrote that he and his organization had changed their constitution and had left the Episcopal Church and were now members of another church, which is called the Anglican province of the Southern Cone. That is a province within the Anglican Communion, just like the Episcopal Church is a province within the Anglican Communion. So that is what he wrote on November 24th, 2008. He wrote also that Catherine Jefferts Shorey has no authority over me or my ministry as a bishop in the Church of God. She never has and she never will. That's pretty explicit, that the presiding bishop never did have any authority over him and doesn't anymore have any authority over him. Again, his position that he had left the Episcopal Church. He's not under the authority of the presiding bishop. He continues, since November 15, 2008, there, we got that year right, both as the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth and I as the diocesan bishop have been members of the Anglican province of the Southern Cone. As a result, Canonical declarations of the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church pertaining to us are irrelevant and of no consequence. And I think that's very clear that he believes that because he's left, that nothing that the presiding bishop has to say about him has any relevance, because he's not part of that church anymore. Jack Eicher has said he's not part of the Episcopal Church. So none of the constitution and canons of the Episcopal Church have any authority over him, nor does the presiding bishop have any authority over him. They are irrelevant to him because he's part of another church, which is true. It is true because he's left the Episcopal Church. And the constitution and canons of the Episcopal Church have no more authority over Jack Eicher than the constitution and canons, if there are such a thing, of the Roman Catholic Church. And the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church has no more authority over him now than the Pope has authority over Jack Eicher. All right? He's in another church. He's left the Episcopal Church. So Jack Eicher has abandoned the Episcopal Church. Now, I wanted to bring this up. This was a topic last time, and it's germane to our discussion this morning. On April 24th, 1993, Jack Eicher made and signed this loyalty oath for the third time. He'd made and signed this oath twice before, once upon his ordination as a deacon, once upon his ordination in the Episcopal Church as a priest, and then was required to sign and state this oath the third time when he was made bishop in the Episcopal Church. And it goes like this: I do solemnly engage to conform to the doctrine, discipline, and worship of the Episcopal Church. We talked about that oath last time in relation to prospective vestry and delegate candidates. That's the same language. So he made that oath for the third time on April 24th, 1993. And he required anyone he ordained to state and sign the exact same loyalty oath before he ordained them. I don't know, I don't remember when the last person he ordained as an Episcopal bishop, but it must have been sometime in 2008, the last ordination to the priesthood that he did. And he insisted that they state and then sign this declaration, this oath of conformity and loyalty to the doctrine, discipline, and worship of the Episcopal Church. So it's not an unknown at all concept to require people to have some oath, which he himself has made. Canon 1.17.8 of the Constitution and Canons of the Episcopal Church, to which he assented fidelity, it's titled Fiduciary Responsibility, says this: any person accepting any office in this church, which is the Episcopal Church, shall well and faithfully perform the duties of that office in accordance with the Constitution and canons of this church. That is part of our canon law, the expectation of fiduciary responsibility. And any person accepting any office would include a bishop, a priest, a deacon. It would include a vestry member or a delegate to convention. It would include any office in this church, not some offices, but all offices, any and all offices. The expectation of the church in which you're a member is that you will conduct that office in accordance with the Constitution and canons of the Episcopal Church. This is all very clear, very common, and that's why the expectation that vestry and delegates have a fiduciary responsibility that they need to acknowledge that they're under is not an unrealistic one. But Jack Eicher was under the same laws of the church, having made the same oaths that I've made to uphold the Constitution and canons of the Episcopal Church.